If you are going through a difficult trial, or have ever experienced a flood, an earthquake, or a fire, some intense anxiety may have lingered long after the crisis. If you lost loved ones or your possessions were destroyed, you may have felt a sense of grief, hopelessness, or even anger. We often find peace in the soothing lyrics of a favorite song. But how do we keep that peace when the music stops? Stay tuned and subscribe as we discuss 4 practical ways that creates the peace you want. Imagine waking up tomorrow to another headline about war, another economic crisis, even another technological breakthrough that changes how people work, or another prediction about the future. The world never seems to stop changing. Every year we promise ourselves that things will finally settle down, yet somehow life becomes even more unpredictable. So here's the question. If the world never stops changing, is peace even possible? Surprisingly, history suggests the answer is yes, and the people who found it weren't the ones who escaped chaos. They learned how to live through it. Think about a lighthouse. Storms don't ask permission before arriving. The lighthouse doesn't stop the storm. It simply refuses to move because its foundation reaches deep beneath the waves. People who experience lasting peace have built similar foundations, not because life became easier, but because their center became stronger. The secret to finding peace is within yourself. Peace is an internal skill. So here are 4 ways to create peace within yourself. Number 1, limit the noise. Imagine trying to have a meaningful conversation with someone while 10 different people are shouting at you from every direction. You'd struggle to hear anything clearly. In many ways, that's what modern life has become. Every notification, breaking news alert, trending topic, and social media debate competes for your attention. Before long, your mind is so full of everyone else's voices that you can no longer hear your own. The truth is, not every piece of information deserves a place in your mind. Being informed is valuable, but being constantly inundated is exhausting. Our brains were never designed to process an endless stream of crises from every corner of the world, 24 hours a day. When we consume too much noise, we begin to mistake urgency for importance, and anxiety becomes our default setting. Many successful people have understood this principle. Michael Jackson was known to avoid reading tabloids about himself because he believed they distorted reality and disrupted his peace of mind. He once remarked that he didn't read what was written about him, choosing instead to protect his mental and emotional well-being rather than become consumed by public opinion. His approach reminds us that not every opinion deserves our attention, even when it's about us. This idea isn't unique to celebrities. The ancient Stoic philosopher Marcus Aurelius wrote in his personal journal that the soul becomes stained by the color of its thoughts. In other words, what we repeatedly allow into our minds gradually shapes who we become. If we constantly consume fear, outrage, and conflict, we shouldn't be surprised when our inner world begins to reflect the same chaos. Limiting the noise doesn't mean ignoring reality. It means choosing your inputs wisely. Read the news, but don't let the news read your emotions. Stay informed, but don't become consumed. Turn off the notifications that don't serve you. Put the phone down for a while. Create moments where your mind can simply be still. Because peace isn't just about what you add to your life. Sometimes it's about what you choose to leave out. Our second point of discussion is know what you can control and focus on that. Imagine you're standing on the shore, watching the ocean. The tide comes in, the waves crash, and the wind changes direction. No matter how hard you try, you can't stop a single wave from reaching the beach. You can't tell the wind to blow more gently. And you certainly can't command the tide to turn around, but you can decide where you stand. You can choose whether to carry an umbrella, move to higher ground, or simply wait for the storm to pass. Life works much the same way. Many of us spend an incredible amount of energy worrying about things we have absolutely no control over. What other people think of us, the economy, political decisions, unexpected setbacks, or events happening on the other side of the world. We replay these situations in our minds as if worrying long enough might somehow change the outcome, but it rarely does. More often, it only steals our peace. What we can control is often much closer to home. We can control how we respond to disappointment. We can choose kindness instead of bitterness, discipline instead of procrastination, Gratitude instead of constant comparison, we can decide whether to spend our evening learning a new skill or endlessly scrolling through our phones. These small choices may seem insignificant, but over time they shape the direction of our lives. There's an old saying often attributed to the Stoic philosopher Epictetus: some things are within our control and some things are not. It's a simple idea, but a powerful one. The moment we stop fighting battles we were never meant to win, we free up our energy to improve the areas where our actions truly matter. So, the next time you find yourself overwhelmed, pause and ask a simple question: is this something I can control? If the answer is yes, take the next small step. If the answer is no, practice letting it go. Because peace doesn't come from controlling the world around you, it comes from mastering the choices within you. Moving on to our third point: build meaningful relationships. Think about a campfire on a cold night. A single log placed in the fire will burn for a while. But if you pull it away from the others, its flame slowly fades until it goes out. Place it back with the rest, and it begins to burn brightly again. People are much the same way. We often think strength means handling everything on our own. But some of life's greatest burdens become lighter when they're shared with someone who genuinely cares. A conversation with a trusted friend, a meal with family, or simply knowing that someone is willing to listen can bring a kind of peace that no amount of success or money can replace. Research has consistently shown that strong relationships are one of the greatest predictors of happiness and long-term well-being. It's not because friends eliminate our problems, but because they remind us that we don't have to face those problems alone. In a world that celebrates followers, likes, and online connections, don't overlook the value of real relationships. Invest in the people who encourage you, challenge you to grow, and stand beside you during difficult seasons. And be that kind of person for someone else. Because at the end of the day, peace isn't only something we find within ourselves. Sometimes it's something we experience through the people who walk beside us. Just like the logs in a campfire, we burn brighter when we're not trying to face life's coldest nights alone. Finally, last but not the least, Number 4, understand that there's a different way to measure success. Imagine climbing a mountain. Most people spend the entire journey looking at the summit, thinking, I'll be happy when I finally get there. But if all you ever focus on is the top, you'll miss something important. Every step you take is quietly making you stronger. Your legs grow steadier, your lungs become stronger, and your confidence increases with each challenge you overcome. Life is much the same. We often measure success by things we can see: a bigger paycheck, a nicer home, a promotion, or recognition from others. Those achievements can certainly be rewarding, but they don't always bring lasting fulfillment. If our definition of success depends only on what we possess, we'll constantly feel like we're chasing a finish line that keeps moving. What if we measured success differently? Instead of asking, how much have I gained? Ask, who am I becoming? Am I becoming more patient, more courageous, more compassionate, more resilient when life doesn't go as planned? Because one day, circumstances will change. Titles fade, possessions wear out, and applause eventually grows quiet. But the person you've become that stays with you. True success isn't simply reaching the top of the mountain. It's becoming the kind of person who is stronger, wiser, and more at peace because of the climb. If conversations like this help you slow down, think more deeply, and find clarity in a noisy world, consider subscribing as we explore timeless ideas that can help you live with greater peace, purpose, and wisdom.